Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 13. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakachaja Stotara Sata Sri Madhesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prince Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Ganga Maya Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 13. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir nidhirastatra namuyati. Dehinosmin yata dehe komara yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuyate. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuyati. Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuyati. Dehina of the embodied, asmin in this, yata as, dehe in the body, komaram boyhood, Yovanam, youth, Jara, old age, Tata, similarly, Dehantara, transference of the body, Prapti, achievement, Dhira, the sober, Tatra, thereupon, Na, never, Muhyati, deluded. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Purport. Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates into another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice in their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering, according to one's work in life. So Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have either spiritual body in the next life or at least life in the heavenly bodies for superior enjoyment of material existence. So, in either case, there was no cause for lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul in nature, both material and spiritual, is called Dhira, or most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that the spirit soul cannot be cut to pieces as a fragmental portion. Such cutting into different individual souls would make the supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the supreme being unchangeable. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portions of the Supreme exist eternally, sanatana, and are called kshara. That is, they have a tendency to fall down into material nature. These fragmental portions are eternally so, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same, fragmental. But once liberated, it lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can be applied to the super soul who is present in each and every individual body and is known as Paramatma, who is different from the individual living entity. When the sky is reflected in water, the reflections represent both the sun and the moon and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities and the sun and the moon to the Supreme Lord. The individual fragmental spirit soul is represented by Arjuna, and the Supreme Soul is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. They are not on the same level, as will be apparent in the beginning of the 4th chapter. If Arjuna is on the same level as Krishna, and Krishna is not superior to Arjuna, then their relationship of instructor and instructed become meaningless. If both of them are deluded by the illusory energy, Maya, then there is no need of one being the instructor and the other the instructed. Such instruction would be useless because in the clutches of Maya, No one can be authoritative, an authoritative instructor. Under the circumstances, it is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity, Arjuna, who is a forgotten soul, deluded by Maya. Dehinusmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantra praptir dirastatra namuyati. So this is another highly important verse in the Bhagavad Gita, because with very clear logic, Krishna points out the illusion of identifying with the body. The whole matter, the whole reality is Shraddha Shabda Vishwash Koe. This faith of Shraddha, of faith, is Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Simply by re-establishing my relationship with Krishna in loving devotion, then I don't have to do anything else. Everything is accomplished. That is the main reason for living life. That is the main reason for having a human body, so we can understand our eternal relationship with Krishna. There is nothing else beyond that. Krishna is known as Jagadisha, or the owner and controller of the whole universe. He is also Paramatma, the supreme soul within our heart. When we get a human birth and we get a chance to be trained in Vedic knowledge, in the Vedic system, we can actually understand the illusion of being in the body. We can understand the reality of being spirit, and we can understand our eternal connection with Krishna. It is actually very, very, very difficult to come off the bodily platform. We are very, very much attached to this body. In fact, it is impossible to live without a body. Even when we give up this material body, even when we become perfect, we will have a spiritual body. The mind, intelligence, and ego, that I am spirit, that eternally stays with the living entity. When that mind, intelligence, and ego is identified with the body, that aham, mama, iti, I am this, I am a man, I am a woman, this is my wife, this is my husband, these are my children, these are my parents, these are my grandparents, this is my house, this is my country, this is my land. This is all bogus. It means nothing. It is only useful as a platform from which we can understand the utter madness and illusion of identifying with these things. Just like you may be in prison. The only lesson you can get in the prison is that this prison is not where I want to be. It's not where I belong. It is a place full of misery. I want to get out of this prison. I want to be free. I don't want to be restricted. What are these restrictions of this prison house? Jamma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Birth, death, old age, and disease. These are the prison walls that keep us bound here. And the beginning of understanding our real situation is to understand that the body is always changing. Krishna says, Dehino asmin, one in the body must understand that the body is going from youth, old age, it is always moving. So Dehinosmin yatade komaram yovanam jara. It is going from komara, from childhood, youth, yovana, and jara, old age. Tata, thereupon, dehantara praptir. You will get another body. Dhirastatra namuyate. One who is a dhira, one who is fixed, one who is reliable in his knowledge, namuyati, doesn't become bewildered. And what is a symptom of adhira? The symptom of adhira is that he acts on the spiritual platform. How do you act on the spiritual platform? By controlling the senses. Vacha vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udarupashta vegam, etan vegam, yo vishaheta dhiras, sarvam apimam pritivim sashishyat. That one who is a dhira is one who can control the tongue, the mind, Vachuvegam, controlling the speech, Manasa, Krodavegam, controlling the mind, controlling anger, Jiva, controlling the tongue, Udara Upasha, controlling the stomach and controlling the genitals. One who can control these items is actually one who understands that he is not the body. It is no use simply pretending not to be the body. It's no use wearing saffron cloth and carrying a danda of authority or spiritual authority and then identifying with your country, identifying with your body, using the spiritual position for getting material benefit. This is not adhira. Adhira is one who understands that no matter what happens to the body, I am not this body, I am spirit. I cannot be destroyed. I cannot be minimized. I cannot be made small. I am eternally Sat, Chit, Ananda. I am eternal, I am full of knowledge, and I am full of bliss. And I desire this. But within the material universe, within the material prison house, the fort of Durga, from which is difficult to go out, it is impossible to act as adhira. Therefore, Krishna says, Daivi esha guna mai mama maya duratyaya. He tells Arjuna, I commiserate with you. It is a fact that my maya, it is duratyaya. It is difficult, yatyaya, to surpass. Why? Because it is daivi, it is spiritual. You cannot surpass the material energy by any material endeavor, because the material energy is coming from Krishna. Ultimately, it is spiritual, it is daivi. But, mam eva ye prapadyante, if you surrender to me, mayam etam tarantite, you will get the power to overcome, to see illusion for what it is, to see the modes of material nature, to see the passion and the ignorance and the goodness for what they are. There are handcuffs that keep us in the material world. You may be handcuffed by ignorance and poverty, or you may be handcuffed as a demigod in great material opulence, but whether the handcuffs are made of iron, or whether the handcuffs and chains are made of gold, they are keeping us imprisoned in the material world. So, the situation is, mama ye prapadyante, if you surrender to me. What does it mean to surrender to Krishna? What it means to surrender to Krishna is to accept his instructions and to approach him in a humble way. That because we don't follow his instructions, because we take his property without performing sacrifice, because we take, what does Krishna want from us? He is maintaining us even we don't care about him. Look around in the world, and millions of people are living. They don't give a damn about Krishna. They don't care about Krishna. Still, Krishna is maintaining them. All he wants is for us to recognize that, yes, by your mercy I am living. Thank you, Krishna. This is called yajna. Yajna means to become honest, to stop stealing from Krishna. Yajna vai Vishnu. And this yajna actually is Vishnu himself. Now it is impossible to perform yajna according to the Vedic systems. But it is very easy to understand Krishna through the heart of a pure devotee. Vedeshu durlabha. Krishna is Advaita, is non-changeable. He's always there, first of all. Advaitam, Achyutam. He's always reliable. He never falls down. He's never short of the proper answer. Anadim, he has no beginning because he's our Supreme Father. Anantarupam, and he has unlimited forms. You can see Krishna everywhere. The problem is not Krishna. The problem is us. We don't have the vision. We don't have the eyes. So, Vedeshu Durlabham, even within the Vedas, the Vedas simply exist for explaining Krishna, but Durlabham, difficult to find. So where do you find Krishna? Atma Bhakto, within the heart of his devotee. And for this we have to thank Srila Prabhupada millions and millions of times, because when he came to America, he didn't just bring the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The most important thing that Prabhupada brought to America was Lord Govinda within his heart. That is the important thing that Prabhupada brought. And everyone who touched Prabhupada, who saw Prabhupada, who connected with Prabhupada, to this day you can connect to Prabhupada, you will get that Govinda. That Govinda will be given to you. In a very beautiful song, it is explained that a sadhu like Prabhupada is always has Govinda within his heart. Tomara Hridoya Sada Govinda Vishram. Vishram lives or inhabits. Tomara Hridoya, within your heart, Sada, at all times, Govinda Vishram. Govinda is living there within your heart. And that is confirmed by Govinda. Govinda Kahena. Govinda says, Govinda Kahena Mora Vaishnava Para. That the Vaishnav is my heart and soul. So we need to understand Krishna. We need to approach Krishna following in the footsteps of personalities like Srila Prabhupada, the six Goswamis, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I was just singing today a beautiful song by Bhaktivinoda glorifying Gopinath. The song is called Gopinath, but it doesn't begin to glorify Gopinath. It begins by explaining his own fallen position. Hey Gopinath, Mama Nivedana Shuno, please listen to my prayer. Then he introduces himself. What does he say about himself? Vishai Durjan. I am simply a fallen individual full of material desires. Sada Kamerata. I am always full of lust. Kichu Nai Moroguna. I have no quality at all. Kemone, Gopinath, Kemone Shudibe More. How can I purify myself? Najani Bhagati. I have no knowledge, I have no bhakti. Sada Jara Mati. My mind is always disturbed by material desires. Podechi Samsara Gore. I have fallen into this material hole. When Prabhupada was traveling on the Jaladuta, when he reached Boston, he wrote a very beautiful song. And he ends the song by saying, Bhakti Nai, Bidi Nai, I have no bhakti, I have no knowledge. So he follows in the same footsteps. Later on in this Gopinath song, Bhaktivinoda makes another very brilliant point. He says, see Gopinath, look at me. Ami ki dosher doshi. Who is there more at fault than me? Who is there more condemned than I am? And what is the reason? Asura Sakala Paile Charana Vinoda Takila Bosi. That so many big demons became liberated by you, but I am still sitting here. What does this say about me? That you have released so many demons. You have sent them back home, back to Godhead. Even they came to kill you, they came to hurt you. You liberated them. But me, I'm still sitting here. This is the attitude. Krishna, he doesn't come to kill demons. Krishna comes to give darshan to his devotees. He comes because his devotees want to see him. Of course, we don't pray to Krishna, please, I want to see you. But within our heart of hearts, we want to see Krishna face to face. This is our real desire. This is what we want. We want to see Krishna. Krishna knows this. Even we don't ask, he knows, so he comes and he manifests his pastimes. Because there is no difference between his pastimes and Krishna himself. So when you actually hear Shrimvata Swakata Krishna, when you hear the katha of Krishna, the activities of Krishna, katha doesn't mean only activities. Katha means how it is done. How you become liberated by hearing Krishna's activities. Shrimvata Swakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana. It is punya, it is of great spiritual benefit, hearing and chanting. Why? Ridi antashto here, Brahma, because Ridi antashto, within the heart, Abbadrani, what is inauspicious, what is ignorance, what makes us identify with this body, Suri, it is cleaned out. Surit Satan, by his mercy. So simply by hearing Krishna's pastimes, we can develop the faith to get out of this material world. We can actually understand that Krishna can liberate us very easily He will protect us under all circumstances. And even if I'm suffering, that suffering is meant to teach me a lesson. And I am absolutely 100% sure that no matter how much suffering comes my way, Krishna will give me the strength to tolerate the suffering and not forget him. So, Krishna doesn't come to kill the demons, but when he comes to the material world, he attracts the demons. When he was born as a child, the very first demon who attacked him was Kamsa. Now, Kamsa was the king of Mathura and Mathura district. He was the government. He was in control of the treasury, in control of the army, in control of the administration. And his main business was to kill Krishna. There is no difference between Kamsa's administration and the present day administrations on this planet. Each and every one is simply trying to kill Krishna. So when Krishna was born, for his own safety, to please his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, who were very much afraid of Kamsa within the prison, he said, all right, you take me to safety, take me to the Gokula. So on the one hand, he satisfied the fear of his father and mother, and on the other hand, he went to Vrindavan to give his darshan, to give his association to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai. But as soon as he came there, the very first thing that appeared on the scene was a demon, Putana. So he killed her. After Putana, he killed the demon in the cart, Shakatashura. After that demon, he killed Trinavarta, who came as a woman. After Trinavarta, he killed Bakasura, who came as a gigantic duck, who actually ate Krishna. This demon was so powerful, he was able to swallow Krishna. But even though he ate Krishna, he wasn't able to keep him. When Krishna went into his throat, he felt a burning, the demon felt such a burning sensation, he spat out Krishna. And then Krishna bifurcated his beak and killed him. So he killed Bakasura. Then he killed Agasura, the serpent. The serpent, Krishna didn't go into the serpent, but all his friends did. Even Krishna became surprised. How is it possible that this demon is so powerful? He is able to swallow all my friends. So then he put his hand like a hot iron and killed Agasura. Then Vatsasura he killed. Then Dhenukasura through Balaram, the demon, ass demon. Then Kaliya. He didn't kill Kaliya, the serpent who poisoned the Jamuna River. This Kaliya came to the Jamuna River, and he gave so much trouble to the local cows and animals, even the birds. They were being poisoned by this demon. So Krishna came, and he challenged him, and he danced him on his head, and he was about to kill him. But the demon, Kaliya's wives, who were devotees of Krishna, they prayed to Krishna, please spare our husband. So to satisfy his devotees, Krishna spared Kaliya, but he killed his demoniac nature. Even the wives, they were surprised. They said to Krishna, we know our husband, Kaliya. He is full of poison. He's such a dangerous person, such a poisonous person. What did he do to have such a great blessing that you danced in his heads? They were surprised. Then after that, Pralambasura was killed by Balaram. And then after that, Keshi demon was killed, the horse demon. And Aristasura, the bull demon, all killed by Krishna. Then Shankachuda, who tried to kidnap all the gopis, he was killed by Krishna. Then Vyomasura, who kidnapped Krishna's friends. These demons, they had the same method operandi, modus operandi. They simply take away Krishna's devotees and want to exploit them. Just like in the material world today, people are being exploited by their leaders to satisfy temporary material gains. All thieves, every single one of them. So Krishna killed, that was Vyamasura. Then he went to Mathura. And when he got to Mathura, first he killed the washerman who wouldn't give him the cloth of the king. Beware, you take Krishna's property and you don't want to give it, you will die. Then he killed the elephant, Kubalaya Pida, who was sent to kill him. Then him and Balaram killed all the wrestlers. Then Krishna killed Kamsa. Then Balaram killed Kamsa's 8 brothers. Then Jarasandha, who was the father-in-law of Kamsa, his 2 daughters, Asti and Prapti, they were his wives, when he heard that Krishna had killed his uncle, Kamsa. He became enraged and he attacked Mathura with hundreds and thousands of chariots and elephants and infantry and horsemen. And for 17 times, Krishna utterly defeated Jarasandha. He totally smashed his entire army. He killed millions and millions and millions of soldiers. And he let go Jarasandha because Jarasandha was related to him through Kamsa. So for 17 times, then after the 18th time, Krishna said, enough, I have killed enough of these demons. And he moved the entire population of Mathura to Dwarka. Just see, Krishna is the Jagat Isha, the owner of the whole universe. Yet he begged the ocean, please give me a piece of land so I can build my Dwarka city. Just see, Krishna. So he moved all the inhabitants of Mathura and gave them protection in Dwarka. But even in Dwarka, there were so many incidences. So many people came to fight against Krishna. Shalva, Viduratha, Astabakra. There is no end. We are living in a place full of demons. We ourselves have demonic nature. But simply by hearing these wonderful pastimes of Krishna, Riddhi antashto hi abhadrani. What is abhadra? What is inauspicious deep within the heart, vidunoti, becomes liberated. Why? Surit satam, because Krishna is the friend of those who are truthful. So step one in spiritual life is to become truthful. When you become truthful, then you can, Krishna sees your truth, Krishna sees your true endeavor, and he will manifest everything you need to become free from material life. And that key to become free from material life is to hear and chant the pastimes of Krishna. That's why Krishna comes to this material world. Thank you very much. So, Atmavidya is there, Hare Krishna, humble obeisances, also Krishna Primavati Devi Dasi, Dandavat Pranam. She has a question. If the soul cannot be divided, how are we to understand that some living entities like Kardama Muni could expand himself into several bodies? Krishna expands himself unlimitedly, yet always remains as Krishna. So is that similar with the example of Kardama Muni? No, it's not similar. There is an example also of Narada Muni. Yogis can manifest different forms, but all the forms depend on the original form. Just like you see my face on the screen, and this face is being seen all over the world. There's someone from Colombia listening, there's someone from India, there's someone from Germany, but all these reflections around the world depend on this or me here. Whatever I say is reflected there. Krishna, when he expands himself, it's not the same. Kardama Muni expanded himself, but that expansion depended on his original activities. But when Krishna expands himself, he becomes a different Krishna everywhere. Like when Narada Muni was wondering about Krishna's power, he came to see him in Dwarka. And in each palace, he saw that Krishna was performing different activities. It's not that in each palace the activities were a reflection of the original Krishna. No, in Rukmini's palace he was doing one activity, in Satyabhama's palace he was doing another activity, in Jambavati's palace he was doing another activity, marrying his daughters, welcoming daughters-in-law, giving sacrifice to the Brahmanas, performing his daily routine. So that is the difference. Then Mandi Priyo, Hare Krishna. So, good evening. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Hari Bol.